So here we are, folks. Hour number 2 of Freedomlink Radio. Hour number 1 was absolutely electrifying. Joe Joseph and Mike Powers here. And hour number 2, I want to give it a title, if you will. And the title is going to be Knowledge is Power. Knowledge is Power. It's 3 words that have such a drastic and a powerful impact on people and their lives. And you have to understand that when you educate yourself and understand the background of things, understand the laws, understand all of this, all of the information. I mean, we live in an age where information is flowing so rapidly and so freely that it's never happened before in history as we know it. And Mike, in the chat room, I know that there were some people that were asking to go back to a certain time, and you wanted to address that. So go ahead, buddy.
I absolutely do, man. I absolutely do. And I want to preface by saying this, is that no one in this world wants to re-experience everything that I loved and knew as being an American more than me. But here's the bottom line, folks, is I have a different proposal. Okay, and when I run for president, you guys remember that it was said here first on Freedom Link Radio, I'm going to run for president one of these days, and I'm going to suggest that instead of going back, I say we go forwards. I say we charge forward. We stand up. We count each other amongst shoulder to shoulder. We walk into Washington. We arrest the bastards, bring them to trial using our own nation's super one only law. That is the Constitution. If they are guilty of treason, they go to jail. Good luck. Hey, well, I'm just telling you, this is just the way I'm thinking. If they're guilty of, sedition, they go to jail. Until such time as we are willing to stand up and unite under common dream and common purpose, it's not going to happen. Going backwards, who the hell wants to go back to dependency on Arab oil? Who the hell wants to go back to Bay of Pigs and threat of nuclear war? Who the hell wants to go back to the Cold War and the Iron Curtain and the Berlin Wall? I don't want to go back to that crap. I want to move forward where human intelligence has transcended this mess. That's what I want to do. I want to bring this nation forward to the ultimate glory that it could potentially be.
Where the rule of law is respected by everybody, and that no one is above the law. It's just that simple, Case in point, we need to. The only way that this is going to happen is if we make it happen. And Mike, you brought up a good point. The only way to do that is to have accountability. Well, how do you have accountability? Well, when you have treasonous dogs in the policymaking section, the legislative branch of the government, the executive branch of the government, wherever it be, it could be in your locality. When you have a treasonous dog out there, you bring a rope with you and you take care of business the way it is. And I guarantee you do it once or twice, you ain't going to have as many treasonous dogs as there were before.
Exactly my point.
The treasonous dog population will go down.
Bottom line, you're absolutely correct, man. It's just like it's the same philosophy that I apply to gang rap, man, gangster rap thing. If you want to get these kids to stop gacking each other in the street, stop making it so godforsaken popular to be a bad guy. Stop making it so, glamorous to be a cop killer and all this other kind of stupid stuff that they're convincing these kids to do to one another. And that's what you ultimately have to do. The glamour of being a politician is that once you've had one term in office, you get a permanent paycheck. No more of that stuff, Jack. That ends. If you're no longer serving your country, you are cut off. Go back to work. Get back in the system that you were just spent 1 year bitching about. You know what I'm saying? Why do we have to pay these punks for the rest of their life? Why do we have to provide them Secret Service protection for the rest of their life? If they're no longer working for the government, if they're not making policy and they're not trying to help our country, then cut them the frick off. No more permanent frickin', the permanent health care that we don't get. No more of this mess. That shit ends today, as far as I'm concerned. You elect me president, that's my promise to you. That's one of the things that's going to be on the agenda. We get rid of that permanent pay crap. You know what's going to happen? They're not going to get $600,000 salaries a year anymore. They're going to get minimum wage. Why? Because I think that they should have to survive on the same amount of money that the rest of these Americans out here have to live on. The kid that's living out there on McDonald's working 60 hours a week so that he can get 50% off his meals to eat so that his baby can have, formula to drink. You know what? These politicians need to survive at the exact same level. They get paid 40 hours a week at minimum wage, whatever the going average minimum wage is, period. You know, you do start doing stuff like that. It's right now it's popular to be a politician. Who wouldn't want the benefits that they have? But you know what a politician is? It's the same thing. It's patriot. It's militia. It's citizen. It's all of those other words that have been demonized and turned into a curse word. You know, I don't want a politician for president. You know what I want? Oops. Dropped somebody. Guys, are we still broadcasting, or did we drop off here? Offline.
All right, we're back. Sorry, folks.
Oh.
Sorry, my...
Boy, somebody didn't want me talking, did they? But, you know, and that's the thing, man. That's the thing, brother. This stuff has got to be stopped. It's got to be stopped at a fundamental level. It has to be stopped at its baseline. And until we bring these people to task, we can sit out here behind our keyboards and we can bitch about it till hell freezes over. But that's going to accomplish absolutely nothing. Nothing is going to go out. Okay? It's not going to change. It's not going to stop. It's not going to go back until we, the people, get off our collective asses and do something.
Yep, that's right. That's absolutely right. So, I mean, and again, you know, I said it last hour. I will say it again. What gives the Constitution teeth is us, the American people, not American citizens. Don't use the word citizens.
No.
It is American
Tell them why,
people,
Joe.
us. Because citizen means subservient. You are subservient to someone or something. And you are a person. You are a sovereign individual. And you have to understand that our rights do not come from government. Our rights come from our Creator. So, guess what? If they think that they're going to do and take care of us, they're sadly mistaken. We can take care of ourselves.
They're taking care of us, all right.
When you have a despotic government or you have a despotic president or whatever, it could even be your mayor. It could be your sheriff. It's your duty to take care of business. And don't be afraid because they use fear as a tactic. Because they know.
Man, we can't even protest without getting gassed and shot with rubber bullets. Well, then you know what? What are you going to do? Are we going to sit back and cry about it, or are we going to do something? I'm not suggesting going out there and meet weapon with weapon, but you know what? If you just start walking, you do exactly what they do. You start walking your line towards them. You hold up signs that say, "Are you going to shoot me in front of the world?" Yes, that's correct, Mrs. JJ, that's correct. She's just coming up on 3. You know, have a little bit of courage. You want to know what the absolute answer to it all is? 3 words, people. This is Sparta. End of file. If you think that movie was made as a joke, it didn't have anything to do with history, people. It was somebody out there trying to get your damn attention. Because that's all anybody does anymore is they sit back on their butts and they cry about what happens. You know what happened? Oh, believe me, folks, the troops are awake. The troops are very well awake. You know, who actually does something on the ground these days and it keeps you free, criminal defense lawyer or something? No, guys, it's an illusion. It's the illusion. The illusion of freedom is that you still have your guns. You still have your guns because they're scared to damn death to come and try to take them. I actually asked a cop once upon a time. I said, you know, if you ever received orders from your commanders or whatever that said, hey, you're to go out there and you start taking to start taking away people's guns, I said, would you do it? And his answer to me was not no, but F no, because I don't feel like dying that fast. And he says, and that's not what I signed up for.
Right.
Okay. But you see, the bottom line is that you can't have fear, folks. You know, what exactly is terrorism? Let me give you the common textbook definition of terrorism. The use or threat of violence against the civilian populace to influence or change political decision. Okay? Bottom line, what that means is, you know, look at what your own government's doing to you. They're using fear. Oh, terrorists. Oh, today's a blue day, a green day, a yellow day, an orange day, a purple day. Who the hell can keep track of what color day it is? You know what color my day is? Green and blue. Green grass, blue sky. You know,
amen to that,
pay attention to the meat, not the potatoes, guys. It's time to move forward courageously. Bring back American courage and get rid of these pussified American males.
That's right, man. Sit tight, folks. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. Take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. We'll also take your calls. You're listening to Freedomlink Radio on the Orion Talk Radio Network. The break, we were talking about terrorism. Mike threw up a definition, and Lucky from Truth Frequency News shot me an article that Truth Frequency News put out, and in it has a couple of definitions of terrorism. So I want to see just how accurate Mike was here. And I'm going to use Britannica.com. Here we go. This is what they cited. The systematic use of violence to create a general climate of fear in a population and thereby to bring about a particular political objective. Mike, not bad, buddy. No,
hey, man, this ain't my first rodeo, brother. You know, I promised everybody out there in the chat room, I promised them when we came back from the break, I was going to tell them what's significant about 47%. So to all of our valued listeners out there, I sure hope you guys are ready to get charged because I've got good news for you. So go ahead and lean back and let it soak in. 47%, ladies and gentlemen. The Department of Justice released a statistic to tell the world that 47% of American civilians are now armed.
Now, mind you, Mike, 47%, right? So let's just take this. Let's put this in perspective for a second. Now, I don't have I don't have like the census information here, but there's over 300 million people. Let's just say 310.
That's right.
Okay, how many of those are people under the age of 18?
Quite a few. Quite
a few, right? So it's saying 47% of the American population are armed, but really, in reality, it's a much higher percentage of people that actually own the weapons as far as the adult population are concerned.
That's
right.
So,
I mean, that's the thing. The people that can actually make a difference, they're practically all armed. So that's the thing that they're putting out. And it's because of that we have a certain level of power. I mean, it's like the Japanese said, oh, hells no, I ain't going to invade the American mainland. There's a gun behind every blade of grass. And you know what
we're going to do? I'm going to burst into the tactical tip of the week. Primary and secondary weapon systems. Redundancies are intelligent. And that's pertinent because if any fool were to invade the United States, now, behind every blade of grass, you're going to find an American with 2 guns, baby.
Wow.
2. That's awesome. The end of the BS, folks, the end of the BS. We have the power. What we need is a proper leader, someone to actually get behind. And I don't mean a godforsaken politician. I mean a statesman. There is a huge difference between the two.
No, you're absolutely right.
Ken 364 and says lots of ammo. Let me add the other half of that statistic from the Department of Justice. Hundreds upon hundreds of millions of rounds of ammunition. In addition to those 35.8 million new firearms, hundreds of millions of rounds of ammunition. So they know damn good and well that that's a fight they can't win, folks. That's a fight they can't win. They're not coming for your guns. They're going to take people out systematically, one by one, leaders here, leaders there, pockets of resistance, blah, blah, blah. But they are not systematically going to come for your guns because they can't. So now what they're going to try to do is legislate away your rights. They're going to try to put you back to sleep. They're going to get behind you, and they're going to service the customer.
That's right.
And your back. Go ahead,
Mike, one thing that I want to point out was you said, they're going to do it kind of through legislating it away. Well, they even take it one step further, right? Because the latest attempt to take away your firearms was not through legislating in Congress, but by international treaty. That's what they wanted to do, is take it away by treaty. And what people don't understand is when a treaty is ratified by the Senate, and it takes 2/3 of the Senate to ratify a treaty, then that treaty trumps the Constitution. That treaty is even more powerful than the Constitution. And that's in our own law. That's in the Constitution itself. So that's one thing you need to understand. So, of course, these senators are saying, ooh, yeah, about that? I don't know if we want to go piss people off that much. I mean, there's only 10 gajillion firearms in this country. So, methinks that's probably not the right thing to do. So in their response to that, let's just do gun runner and try to make it look as though we're, these firearms are illegally going across the border into the hands of these drug dealers who in turn come back and kill American citizenry and run amok down at the border. But in reality,